This is ABC 7 with breaking news.
As a result, we've made this very difficult decision to cancel this year's Amigo Airshow.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for ABC 7 at 6. I'm Nicole Gomez. Marcel Clark and Paul Sticala are off tonight. Breaking news tonight on ABC 7 at 6. The Mountain Star Sports Group Amigo Airshow is canceled due to the government shutdown. It was set to happen this weekend. Now we have team coverage tonight. Lauren Bly is live at Fort Bliss with the shutdown impacts. Isabella Martinez is live with reaction, and Rishi Oza is live in studio with the historical context on today's cancellation. Let's begin with Lauren. Lauren, what have you learned?
Nicole, to start off, if any of you have tickets, Airshow officials have said they will honor those tickets next year. And if you'd like a refund, they said they will send you an email with some more information. Now, why is this all happening in the first place? No, because of the government shutdown and the lapse of government appropriations, Fort Bliss has to stop any activities that aren't related to national security or safety, which is due to something called the Anti-Deficiency Act. Now, this is according to Colonel Michael Soika, who spoke on behalf of Fort Bliss today. This decision was made today, according to Soika. Airshow officials said they were informed by Fort Bliss within the last couple of hours that Biggs Field was no longer approved for use by the Airshow. Soika did say this decision was just made. Fort Bliss hadn't received fiscal guidance up until today. He and the Airshow both thank sponsors, community partners, and volunteers for the work they put into this show.
We are all deeply wanted this to happen. I'm disappointed. Our children on this post are disappointed. But we're committed to bringing this back bigger than ever next year. And so I'll say to them, please bear with us as we get to the next year. And we'll try to make this an even better show for them.
Colonel Soika and the Airshow officials said next year's show is set to be spectacular, with the Blue Angels scheduled to perform. Reporting live now just outside of Fort Bliss, Lauren Bly, ABC 7.
Lauren, thank you so much for that update. Well, El Pasoans are shocked and sad to hear about the news, as many were planning to attend with their families and friends. Well, our ABC 7 in the City reporter Isabella Martinez spoke to a couple who was planning on celebrating their first wedding anniversary at the Amigo Airshow. She joins us live to tell us about their reaction. Isabella.
Good afternoon, Nicole. I'm here right by Biggs Army Airfield, where the Amigo Airshow was set to kick off in just less than 24 hours. Now, unfortunately, I was the bearer of bad news for many people, including this lovely El Paso couple who was very excited for the Amigo Airshow this year. Take a listen.
She talked last year about skipping a rehearsal just to go to it.
I really did. I pitched it every other way to him and he wasn't biting. But I wanted to share a little bit of El Paso with him, so when it was brought back last year and now hearing this is just really, yeah, bummer is understated.
Matt and Nora McMenamin got married the same weekend as the Amigo Airshow last year, and they've been counting down the days since then for this weekend. Now, Nora is a proud El Pasoan and wanted to share some of her childhood memories with her husband, who was raised in Detroit. Unfortunately, the news changed their plans, so we asked them what they're going to do instead.
What are you going to do on Sunday?
I don't know.
What's there to do, El Paso? Tell me.
So thankfully, they didn't know they were in luck. They were right with the exact person they had to be. As many of you know, I am the 7 in the City reporter. So if you're like Nora and Matt, who are wondering what to do this weekend, you can actually head over to KVIA ABC 7 News on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. You'll have many things to do there. With that being said, I'm Isabella Martinez, and I'll see you around town.
Isabella, thank you so much. And what a wonderful person to hear that news from. Plus, she can help them with some tips around where to go. Well, local leaders, including Congresswoman Veronica Escobar, are reacting to the Airshow's cancellation. In a statement, Escobar said, quote, "The announcement the Secretary Pete Hegseth's team at the Department of Defense rejected Fort Bliss's request to move forward with the event is hugely disappointing. My office has inquired why some military events have been allowed to proceed, but not El Paso's," end quote. And El Paso Mayor Bernard Johnson is also reacting to the news. He released a statement saying, to all the volunteers, organizers, and partners at Fort Bliss, thank you for your dedication and spirit. This show has always represented the best of who we are as a community. And while this year's news is tough, I know El Paso will continue to rise together, end quote. Amigo Airshow officials addressed the situation in a statement saying in part, quote, we cannot overstate the disappointment we feel for the time, effort, and resources invested by so many. We must also emphasize that this has been a fluid situation. We have been learning about any changes to our access to facilities on an hour-by-hour basis, end quote. Now, this is not the first time that the Amigo Airshow has been canceled. ABC 7's Rishi Oza joins us in the studio with extra depth and context. Rishi.
Well, the Airshow had been happening at Fort Bliss for over 30 years. It first started back in 1981, but it had gotten canceled and postponed a few times in between. The first time was back in 2001. The show was scheduled to be held in October, but it was postponed in the aftermath of 9/11. It was held that next year in May of 2002. Then it took a while until the first cancellation happened, which happened in 2013 due to federal budget cuts. And in 2014, the Airshow was moved over to Santa Teresa because Fort Bliss said they couldn't host it anymore. And the Airshow didn't take place at all from 2015 all the way until 2023, with last year being the first time they had the show in Fort Bliss in 12 years, where 61,000 people attended over the two-day weekend. And Fort Bliss and organizers have said they do want the show to return next year, so you may want to hold on to these tickets for just a little bit longer. Reporting live in the studio, Rishi Oza, ABC 7.
Rishi, thank you.